Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope that your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. Not your first time here, hi, welcome back. If you enjoy any and all things makeup related, throwing in some book stuff here and there, you're definitely going to want to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified of all my future uploads. As well, if you also want to join this dumpster fire and other platforms, you could definitely go and check me out on Instagram. Trying to be a lot more active there, so definitely go follow me there. And let's get into today's video, which is testing out some new Alien Cosmetics. Okay, let me rewrite this. Like testing out some new and some that's like kind of new to my collection, if that makes sense. Like, so if you guys are kind of like, well, what are we trying out today then, Carrington? Great question, glad you asked. So I was just recently on their website and I noticed that they had some new eye brushes. So they used to have like a brush set that was in like this very similar type packaging. And I think they still have it on their website, I think. But they did not have this eye set when I was last on there. So this is newer. These are hard to get out. Just so we're all clear. Trying to get this out. This part right here doesn't want to move, so you need to like rip it. Okay. So it kind of comes in like this like ombre with the tips being green. We had tested out like a whole collection that had like face brushes and some eye brushes. This is all just extensively just eye brushes. So we're definitely going to be testing those out, seeing how well we like those. Next up is something that's been in my collection. We've tried testing them out before. It is these like little multi-chrome molten gel pot liners. I thought that maybe we could try to use that again as a liner, see what we think. This is not new to their website, but it is newer to me. This is the Alien Cosmetics Low Light palette. So I'm really excited to try this out. It is a highlighter type of palette where they all have like shifts. A couple videos ago, this is also hard to get open. Like this seems to be a theme here. What was I saying? Oh my gosh, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Where they had released some single highlighters, and we had tried those out, and those were really good. So I decided to pick up like this palette right here. I don't know if these are gonna be like too dark. Let me try swatching some. Oh, they would look really sheer, so like I think you could maybe make them work. Truthfully, like some of them might still be like a little bit dark just based on swatches, but I think if I went in like nice and lightly, maybe we can get that to work. Maybe. Also, they released some singles, some like new singles, so I am so excited to play around with these newish singles, see what look we can create. And then finally, not necessarily new, we've tried them out, but I figured we could try out a couple additional shades, and these are the blushes that they released as well when they released the other highlighters, not the one we're trying out today. So we're definitely going to try to like dive in, play around with all of this, see what we think. So if you guys are excited to see swatches, what I think of everything, definitely keep on watching. So to start off with some swatches, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the face bundles. These don't necessarily swatch the best. I know it doesn't tell like the whole story, could perform beautifully on the eyes. Usually Alien Cosmetics does a really good job on the eyes. So we have right here Arima, Soldier First Class, Rise, One Date. This right here is like a pinky shade. This is Supersonico. We have Materia, Nerf This, Ghoul. And then for the last of the mattes, we have Ito, Miku, Kanakai, and Chocobo. And then last are going to be these shimmer shades. So we have Ignite, Fever, Searing, and last is Lit. So with these bundles, you can either purchase the whole entire matte collection, or you can purchase the shimmers all in a bundle, and then you can also pick and choose. So they have individuals as well. I'll leave the prices of everything up on the screen. So next up we have this low light palette, and I've swatched that. So we have right here Low Light, Synthwave, Comet, Extraterrestrial, Meteorite, and last is Laser Beam. So those are all the swatches. I've swatched all the other stuff in previous videos, so I will link those down below, so that way you guys can go and check those out and see if that's something you want to purchase as well. But let's go ahead and let's dive on into an eye look. I have primed my eyelids using my Blvd eye primer. This is a fantastic eye primer as well. It's literally like $4 from Dollar General. $4 from Dollar General. Wild to me. Okay, so first off, we're going to get started with the eye look. I do want to note these brushes. So in their other brush set, they kind of had like much bigger eye brushes. These are definitely going to be geared towards if you have like hooded eyes such as myself, a droopy little like eyelids such as myself, or you're wanting to do some very like detailed work. I think then you will really enjoy these brushes. If you have big lid space and you are just trying to use these just to do a normal eye look, no detailed, I don't think you're going to like that, because I think it is going to take you a considerable amount of time for you to be able to create that look. So I don't think that'll be geared towards you. But again, hooded eyes, droopy eyes, want lots of detailed work, I think those are going to be the brushes. All right, so I've zoomed you in just a little bit, maybe a lot of it, just depends on your preference of how close you like to be to people. Alright, so here's what we got. I kind of like organized this in a way that maybe hopefully makes more sense to my brain cells. I think I want to do the green and yellow are speaking to me, but I always do like green and yellow. Let's do the purples. Let's do like these little purples. I'm going to start off with a brush that is not in that set, just because I do want something really nice and fluffy. So we're going to start off with the first shade right here, this very light pastel kind of a purple. There is a little bit of hiccup in the pan. I wouldn't say it's like atrocious or anything, but we're just going to start working this into the crease area and above, kind of make this a transition shade. Again, this is a pastel, so definitely going to take some building up, but I think it's building up nicely. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, so now that we've got a nice good transition, I'm going to move on into the next purple shade, which is this right here. It has a little bit of like sparkle in it, but because we can still try to make it work, and I am going in with one of those brushes. This is the, does it say? Oh man. UC 8-7. You can tell it's an 8 or a B. I don't know. But I think this is a really nice color. Packing on nicely, blending on and not having to go in a ton. It's just working. So I'm going to take this next brush. This is the UC 8-5 or B. I can't really tell. You guys can tell. Okay, I don't know if it's going to show up. UC, is that an 8 or a B-5? Like I have no idea. So let's go into this shade right here for the very like outer corner portion of the eye. I think the part I'm most nervous about is like what shimmer we're gonna go in with, but we'll see. Okay. You know, I'm trying to like pack on the shade and blend it. I don't know that I care for how this is applying. Okay, looks like it does pretty good with you stamping it on and doing like very minimal like blending is what I'm getting with this. It's just like very minimal blending. So here's the hard part, is like what shimmers are we going to use? right? Maybe that shade. Let's just try it right on out. It's a very beautiful shimmer. Applies nicely. Now I've got the eyes pretty good. So I'm going to dive on into one of these Molten Liquid Chromes. This is MC2. It's definitely more of like that purplish type of shade. It's got some like blue shifts, some pinky shifts. So I'm going to take that on, what brush? This little brush right here. This is UC 8-10. Or B. Again, I don't think we've really solidified what it is yet. And I'm just gonna start stamping that near my lash line. It's very beautiful. I think my issue still lies in that when I apply this to the eyes, no matter what I'm doing, like using it as eyeliner or like on the eyes, it just doesn't really seem to really shift. I literally thought that I was filming this whole time. That the lie detector test determined that was a lie. So I'm taking this brush right here, which is the -4 brush. I went in and did this shade and smoked it down. Now we're working on this shade, and we are just hugging that a little bit closer to the lash line. But not going as far down, and then we'll go into that very last shade, which is that darkest shade, and just work it like right here, up close and personal. We need to come up with like an inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna take this little brush right here. This is the -6 brush, and we're gonna go into the low light palette because there is a very beautiful like purple right here called low light. Put some in there, and then start right here on the inner corner. Just working that in. So now we're going to move on into like the blush portion of this. So we definitely have a ton of like blush shades, but I think this blush, or this blush actually, you know what, let's mix these two. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my blush brush. I'm going to start off with like that darker, like purplish blush shade. And just kind of start it towards like the back of the eyes. And just work on building that. Because this is definitely, I feel like needing some help blending. Getting that pigmentation. Kind of want to bring it a little bit into the eyes as well. Alright, like just like some blush draping. Make sure we get all up in here. We'll do the same thing. Oh, on the other side. Oh no, why is this doing that when it didn't do that on the other side? Aww, Carrington. Why? Wait, did it do that? No, it didn't even do that on the other side. So why are these like little dots like right here not wanting to move? Oh, jeez. Then I'm going to take that like lighter, it's like a pinky kind of purpley shade, and just focus it like right here towards the front, and then just kind of brush it back. So it's kind of like a little bit of like an ombre, which is something that I think is really beautiful. It's like a really good ombre. Just like that. Nice. Okay. So then we're going to go back into that low light shade. Lightly, just like swab just a little bit of that purple shade off, the low light shade as well. Tie that in. Do the same thing on the other side. Wow. Purple, purple, purple. I'm purple, I was deeper to die. I was deeper to die. I was deeper. Yeah, that looks really good. That looks beautiful. Alright, so here is the final and completed look, testing out some new Alien Cosmetics. What do you guys think of the look? I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. Disclaimer though, I literally had to play around with lip options. I came up with like 7 different lip options before we finally got here, and I was happy with it. It was a lot. It was a lot, I know. But we are here, so let's go ahead and let's dive on into like my least favorite things that we tried today to my most favorite. So my least favorite is, again, these like little multi-chromes. Like, do you see like how like different the shifts are? But here on my, like right there, it literally just looks purple. It doesn't shift. And that's just like really disappointing because it looks so beautiful in the jar. Like so beautiful. That if it had that shift, I would be wearing that all the time. But the fact is, it's just not. It's just staying purple. Like no matter how I shift, the light, whatever, it just stays purple. It doesn't have any of those really beautiful shifts in it. So for me, that was just slightly disappointing. But overall, not a bad product. Next up is going to be this low light palette. I think this is a really good quality highlighting formula. It's not like super duper intense. It gives like a really nice shift. I think for me though, is that like it just does like those shifts, like it's like a duochrome. And for me, like I do like that in some looks, like today's look. I think like incorporating in like the purple highlight was really worth it to me. But not every day am I wanting like a shifty highlight. Like there are times when I would just like a crisp and iced out highlighter or a nice like champagne. In here you just don't get that. You just get the shifts. But if you're somebody where like you could wear shifty highlighters all day long, I think this is really good. It's really easy to just like not make it so intense because this purple, even when you swatch it, it looks like, oh, that's going to be way too dark for my skin. Swatch it again, looks like, oh, that's way too dark. But you just take it on a nice fluffy brush, nice highlighting brush, and it doesn't look too dark. So I do feel like you can make it work for almost any skin tone. I do think you would probably have the most success if you were like a medium skin tone to use all of these. But overall, again, just use it light hand. But I'm just not always reaching for some shifty highlighters. I don't know. Okay, so next up are going to be the blushes. I really do like their blushes. I think it's really beautiful. It's able to create a really nice ombre look. But I have noticed that like sometimes when I go in, like what we experienced over here, it just doesn't want to blend. It's just like, it's like, oh, we're stuck here. That's it. And then like you're really like having to blend. And luckily this time my makeup didn't come off. But there have been times where I'm like sitting there trying to blend. And then everything underneath is just pilling up. And I'm just like, okay, all right. Like what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? You know, like, what are we doing? So that's just kind of like one qualm I have with that, but I think like these are really, really beautiful type blush shades. I feel like all the ones that they included probably aren't like super common blush shades. Like this one might be common, you know, this one, but like for the most part, like most of these like are very different. They're very unique to my collection. As I'm starting to branch out to more indies, I am starting to find like more blushes that resemble this, but the fact is it's not something that I can go to like CVS, Walmart, Ulta, Sephora to find blushes in this color. I have to stick remotely with indie brands, but I love how like it has a really nice palette. These are really nice size blushes. You're not committed to like a blush palette. You can just pick and choose which ones you use, which one you wouldn't. So I really enjoy that. Next up is probably going to have to be the eyeshadows. I think they're really, really beautiful. You know, there was a pastel in here that you definitely have to like build up, and it's kind of already starting to fade away. That's just how it is with pastels sometimes. It's just, it is what it is, like unfortunately. I do like, you know, the range of some of the colors. I think we could have done with like an additional blue, an additional green. You know, I think the yellow, like instead of like this random yellow, having it more like a like grungy green type of like yellowish shade, like a swampy kind of green. I don't know. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like a swampy-ish kind of green, like that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like I think that would have been better. But you can get all the mattes you know, together. You can get them separate. I like that aspect. I think the shimmers are really nice. They're really, really pretty. I wish they would do some like additional shimmers that might be like a little bit more neutral. Like I think I could have really appreciated like an icy one, or like something like that would have fit in with these, like a really nice, like this is purple, but I don't feel like it's like, I don't know, this would have really went with this look. But you know, just some nice colors to go and complement the singles that you do have, just because like those are the only singles that they have, that they provide, are like these mattes and these shimmers that are in here. So I'm hoping that they will branch out. And then last, my number one pick are going to have to be these brushes. So they are very nice. They are very soft. I like the ombre. And then for me, with like those hooded eyes, I really do appreciate how nice and tiny they are. So I can really like work in and do like the work that I need to do within my hooded eyes. So I really liked that. I think the one thing I would say is I would appreciate a little bit more of like a bigger blending brush. It didn't have to be like astronomically bigger, but I would have appreciated just like maybe one brush that was a little bit bigger and a little bit fluffier, to really be able to just like go in on the eyes. I know they have like that face set that you could get that has like face brushes and eye brushes that are bigger, but I think just having a brush set that will give you like all the options you would need, like for detailed work, for just, you know, blending work, just like whatever the case may be, I think that would have been perfect. All right, so that is it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you can join this dumpster fire. Also, go follow me over on Instagram. Leave a comment down below what you're doing this weekend, what you think of this look. Are you interested in anything from Unearthly Cosmetics? Let me know all that down below. But I hope you guys had a wonderful and exciting day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!